Good day to all my fellow countrymen. Today, we will talk to our beloved President Duterte's contributions and achievements. His contributions and achievements was his legacy to Filipino people, especially to new generation. But before that, let's give a warm thanksgiving to his unconditional love toward us in his 6 years of service. You are truly a leader and a good father to our country. Job well done, President. We are praying for you health and more years of existence. God bless you and your family. Now, let's talk to his contributions and achievements from his 6 years in service. Rodrigo Roa Duterte, also known as Daga Rodi, and by the initials PRRD, is a Filipino lawyer and politician who served as the 16th President of the Philippines from June 30, 2016 to June 30, 2022. He is the chairperson of PDP Laban. Duterte is the first president from Mindanao, oldest person to be elected president of the Philippines. He is also the first Philippine president to have worked in the 3 branches of the government. He is known for his advocacies on drugs and federalism. He implemented an intensified war on drugs and prioritized infrastructure spending, initiating the Build Infrastructure program. He initiated liberal economic reforms by amending the Foreign Investment Act of 1991 and Public Service Act to attract foreign investors, and reformed the country's tax system by signing the Tax Reform for Acceleration and Inclusion Law and Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprises Act while raising sin taxes on non-essential goods. He took measures to eliminate corruption, red tape, and money laundering by establishing the Freedom of Information under the executive branch, signing the Ease of Doing Business Act, creating the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, and strengthening the Anti-Money Laundering Act. He liberalized rice imports by signing the Rice Tariffication Law to stabilize rice prices, granted free irrigation to small farmers, signed the Sajit Saka Act, and created a trust fund for coconut farmers. He implemented an intensified campaign against terrorism and communist insurgency. He signed the controversial Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 and oversaw the 5-month-long Battle of Marawi, declaring martial law throughout Mindanao and extending it for 2 years to ensure order in the island. He initially pursued peace talks with the Communist Party of the Philippines and appointed several left-leaning individuals to government positions, but canceled all negotiations in February 2017 following attacks and kidnapping of soldiers by New People's Army rebels. Officially declaring the CPNPA as a terrorist group, he ordered the creation of a task force to end local communist armed conflict and the task force Balik Loob for the reintegration of former communist rebels. He signed into law the Bangsamoro Organic Law Ball, establishing the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, and signed proclamations granting amnesty to members of the Moro National Liberation Front and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Duterte signed free college education in all state universities and colleges through the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act, provided medical scholarships through the Dr. Para sa Bayan Act, institutionalized the alternative learning system, established transnational higher education in the country, and signed the Free Internet Access in Public Places Act. He signed the automatic enrollment of all Filipinos under the government's health insurance program through the Universal Health Care Act, signed the Philippine Mental Health Law, signed a law establishing malasakit centers in public hospitals, ordered the full implementation of the Reproductive Health Law, banned smoking in public places nationwide, and set a price cap on select medicines. He oversaw the COVID-19 pandemic in the country, signed laws creating the Philippine Space Agency and the Departments of Housing and Urban Development and Migrant Workers. He institutionalized a national identification system and the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program, raised the age of sexual consent to 16, criminalized child marriage, simplified the adoption process, and launched the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program. Duterte has pursued an independent foreign policy, pursuing improved relations with Canandreses, and lessening the country's dependence on its traditional ally, the United States. Duterte's domestic approval rating has been relatively high throughout his presidency despite criticism and international opposition to his anti-narcotics drive. Thank you so much for your humble lifestyle, kindness, love, and service. Your 6 years was a very successful for us Filipino people. We are the witness of how good you are. Stay safe and God bless. We miss you, Tate Dagong.